I'm John Mercurio. Up next, Hillary Clinton raised $10 million last week. Checks are now being made out to Baller. That's next up on Hotline TV.
We see parents who dream big, of honor students and artists. By supporting programs that help children learn, we help parents watch their dreams come true.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors
Amy Walter
and John Mercurio.
It's Thursday. I'm Amy Walter.
And I'm John Mercurio. This year's first quarter ends Saturday, but Democrats were given a little advance showing Monday as reports emerged that Hillary Clinton raised over $10 million last week. Amy Walter, were Edwards or Obama surprised by the preview? Yes or no?
No. Come on. This is the whole game. Everybody's expecting. We had numbers thrown out here. Wasn't our good friend Chuck Todd talking about $500 million at one point?
Indeed.
I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna say $501 million.
Go for it.
And hope that I get my dishwasher out of this one. Listen, the expectation game, while we just talked a great deal about it on the Republican side, on the Democratic side, the expectations have already been set, right?
Right.
What is the percent difference between Hillary and, it's an exponential
Right.
question, right? It's going to be, is it one time, two time? Is she going to lap the field? Is she going to lap the Republican field and Democratic field combined? I mean, she almost can't, in some ways, you almost can't win.
And will anybody ultimately be impressed with the amount that she's able to raise? Or will it all be so, I think what the story ends up being on the Democratic side is not so much about who comes in first, who comes in second, who comes in third.
Yeah, it's the degree to which they are separated.
The degree to which they're separated, and also the subplots. How much of the money that she raised did Bill actually raise? And how many of the fundraisers that she put together were actually fundraisers that he headlined and then was able to raise most of the money for her? I think an interesting question too, and it's going to be actually too late to really get a good sense of it in the remaining days of the quarter, but how will John Edwards' campaign be affected by the announcement last week?
Well, I know, and it is that, it's the last week in fundraising, so I don't think we're going to get a preview in terms of its impact on fundraising, though we can certainly use the fundraising issue then to raise questions again about it, especially if he falls short of expectations, right? And we say, okay, now how is he going to jumpstart his fundraising?
Right, absolutely. Because I think that's really an important question. A lot of people saying he'll get a bounce in the polls, and I'm sure that's true. There's going to be a lot of sympathy for him. But
are the checks
how it
coming
affects
in?
his donors, I think.
The other thing, and I hope good, smart reporters are going to do this work for us so that I don't have to.
Good, smart reporters are too busy. They're not watching.
Oh, that's right. They're not watching.
You know?
But how much of this money is primary money, and how much is general election money?
That's
what we have to really get down to. That we're going to hear all these numbers that are going to be thrown out: 50, 30, 75 jillion dollars. But as we all know, you can only spend a certain amount in the primary, and then the rest has to be reserved for the general election. So that's going to be the more important question: is this somebody who just got a lot of people to max out, a small number of people to max out, and got a big number, or do they have a bigger, broader?
And I think that the Clinton people have already made clear that a large part of what they're raising is going to be for the general election in a pretty big show of confidence.
Which is fine, but if you don't have the money then for the primary, then it's not as impressive.
If you don't have nomination, then all the money that you saved for the general election,
you can't wear that. You can't use that.
You're just not going to be able to do that.
It's important.
Tough times, complicated rules. And that'll do it for today's show. Join us next time as we go live from the Federal Election Commission.
Woo! Can't wait.
For a very special Hotline TV. Thanks for joining us.